how much of this do you think is down to the leadership? From what I've seen of Jay Monahan, if I'm looking to apportion blame into how this has gone so horribly wrong, it seems, for the PGA Tour, I'm laying the blame squarely on his shoulders. I think he's been invisible. He's let the players down with the PIF announcement back whenever it was, halfway through the year. What's the feeling amongst the players in terms of where to apportion the blame for this, do you think?
Well, I'm not entirely sure as it comes with it when it comes to Jay and the American players, but from an outsider, which I am really looking in from the PGA Tour side of things, he's clearly made two quite big mistakes. The first one was not even having the discussion, just to get an idea, a better idea of the actual intentions that Liv had. And that could be for a number of reasons. I suspect that to some degree arrogance due to the fact that he's American and the PGA Tour had this kind of monopoly of power on the game of professional golf. And, like we all know, we spend a lot of time in and around Americans. We know the way they can think. And I think that that's come back to haunt Jay and the PGA Tour. The world is changing, not just in golf, and the world is moving away from being dominated by America, and golf is probably no different. So I think that's the first mistake he made. The second mistake, which I actually think is the biggest mistake he's made, was what happened in June, because the announcement almost made it to the players anyway, listen, we're agreeing to do some sort of deal with them. We're going to come together. It kind of opened the doors, I think, to players like Jon Rahm and other players who are rumored to go, like Tony Finau and Tyrrell Hatton, players who frankly had been very loyal up until that point. And I honestly think if it had have remained an us against them for longer, I'm not sure Jon Rahm would have jumped ship. I really believe John when he said what he said. The problem is it no longer became us and them, and I know that's not a very nice thing to have to live in, because we all want to cooperate. But ultimately, it does just highlight again cooperation in this space at the moment. There's far too many pieces of the puzzle that can be put together for there not to be this fracture what we're seeing. So I think he's made two glaring errors, and that would be my feelings towards Jim Monahan, and I'm sure there will be some repercussions moving forward.